Dr. Lyding, what can you tell us about the relationship between Arizona Christian University and the Washington Elementary School District up until February? So we won't get into what happened in February, but what can you tell us traditionally about your relationship with the district?
Yeah, we've had a wonderful relationship with Washington Elementary School District for over 10 years. We've sent them students, they've invited them for observations, they've hosted them for student teaching, and they've hired a lot of our students, a lot of our graduates. It's been a very positive relationship.
So you've had over the more than decade that you've worked with the district, you've seen, as you said, teachers become full-time staff members there.
Mhm.
So I would imagine in February, when you heard that the district was going to be terminating the relationship with the university, that you were a little shocked. Would that be fair to say?
Exactly. And I was watching it at home. I was watching the board meeting, and I was completely shocked when they decided to stop the relationship.
So they made a decision. They said, we are not going to welcome back after 11 years. And before we even go there, were there ever any incidents, any issues that emerged, any things that would have led them to say, oh, we can't work with this Christian college? Anything that you could think of?
No, we've actually never had any issues with our student teachers in Washington School District or our observation students. They've done well. The teachers have appreciated them. It's been a win-win.
So based on what you saw in this meeting, it was February 23rd, where the district, the school board was talking about this renewal. I assume you probably expected there was going to be a renewal, that this would have just
Yeah.
continued. When you saw what they had to say, take us through, before I get your reaction, take us through what exactly, in your view, they were saying about your college during that meeting.
Um, well, they were saying that because of the statement of faith that our students sign, that they did not want to renew the contract. So the students, like I said, the students have been very successful. Everything has gone positive when they've gone to the schools. But during the board meeting, they said that it was discrimination against Arizona Christian students and university students for signing a statement of faith in what they believed in.
Now, Ryan, I'm going to come to you on this, because what I'm hearing there is it sounds like the college's, the basis of this is that the college is a Christian college and abides by biblical morality. And therefore, because of that, these student teachers who had been welcomed to the school and had become teachers, many of them over the years, were no longer welcome to be there. What was the strangest part of that initial meeting? And then we'll talk about what came after, as far as, as an attorney, that you found the most disturbing.
Where do I begin? Almost the entirety of the meeting that night was very disturbing. Look, the government can't treat people of faith worse than everyone else. These students shouldn't lose opportunities and be punished because of their religious beliefs. But yet, that's exactly what this school district is doing. The district went on to compare their quote unquote values against the values of the university. And the school board is accusing these teachers of not being safe. Again, simply due to the fact they have Christian beliefs. And we have one word for that, and that's discrimination.
It's interesting, because if the argument is that there's some sort of fear that these Christian students are going to say or do something that puts students at risk. I mean, it sounded like when you're watching the meeting as though there was a fear. And what's so strange, Dr. Lyding, you were just saying this, there hadn't been a track record of anything that would make anybody think, as far as what you're saying, that there would be any of these issues. So I guess, Ryan, for me, I'm trying to look at this and fairly assess it. Would we then, by the same standard, have to say that these board members would not be able to treat Christian students properly in the classroom if they were teaching? If we were to hold them to the same standard, wouldn't it be, well, they don't agree, so I guess they can't be student teachers then if they're atheists or agnostics, I don't know what they believe on the board, or members of a certain community, that they then, by their own standard, wouldn't be able to teach the Christian students? I mean, I wouldn't assume that.
Well, yeah, that's the definite concern. I mean, you can't have the government picking winners and losers in this space. There were absolutely zero complaints leading into this. What happened was they went on the university's website, saw that they believed in biblical sexuality, and dismissed them, got rid of them from this years-long relationship that had been very beneficial for both sides. So, it's rare that we see cases this egregious, but this is definitely at the top of that list.
So, Dr. Lyding, just so people understand, how does this affect, this again, February 23rd, this decision was made. How does this practically affect the university as well as the students there?
Yeah, well, Arizona Christian University students shouldn't be discriminated against or have fewer opportunities because of their religious beliefs. And that's what's happening. They're saying they can't come into the schools for observations or student teaching. And so right now they are pretty close, within a mile from our university. And so students oftentimes will go over there between classes, work in a classroom for a little while, and then come back. Those opportunities are gone. There's a semester of working with a teacher in the classroom for student teaching. That opportunity is gone. So it hurts Arizona Christian University students, but it also hurts the students in the district because they don't have enough teachers right now. And so they miss out on the opportunity of having this extra set of hands come in the classroom and work in their classroom alongside the teacher. They miss out on having 2 teachers for an entire semester. That they also miss out on having a pool of graduates. At a time when there's a shortage of teachers, they miss out on this pool of graduates who are excellent and highly sought after for their skills. It really makes me sad for everybody.
How many students do you have right now currently in classrooms in that district?
We have 5 student teachers there right now, and we have, I don't know exactly how many observation students. We have around 10 or 15.
So there are a number of students that are there right now. I would imagine this also creates some tension and awkwardness in the moment of this happening while this program is obviously going on right now. So, as you sort of look at this and you reflect on it, I would assume that maybe you thought, okay, they made this decision, they had this conversation, it made national news pretty quickly, that they would back away from this. Ryan, what have we seen as far as the district's response to all the national coverage of this?
Well, they doubled down. 2 weeks following the initial board meeting, there was another meeting where there were several individuals that came in, spoke up on behalf of the university. And during that meeting, at least one of, if not 2 of the individuals on the board actually doubled down on their prior comments. And that came on the heels of getting sued. Now, we just learned that we're going to have a hearing in this case in early to mid April. So we'll see, what the tune is of the district. But so far, they've been entrenched. They've stood their ground on their discrimination.
Now, Dr. Lyding, some people might say, why fight this, right? Why not just walk away? A lot of people walk away. They don't want to go through the haggling. They don't want to go through the public scrutiny, because I'm sure a lot of that is happening when something becomes a national news story. Why did the college feel it was appropriate and necessary to push forward on challenging this?
Well, we have lots of districts that are interested in working with us. But it's not fair for the Arizona Christian University students to have fewer opportunities or to be discriminated against for their religious beliefs. And so we needed to do something about that.
Yeah.
And Billy, I would just add too, I mean, you can't have a precedent like this set. Think about it. If other school districts were to chime in and try to do the same thing, I mean, this would have a tremendously detrimental impact, not just to the university itself, but as Linnea pointed out, to those students that are actually in these school districts. I mean, there is an absolute teacher shortage going on, not just in Arizona, but across the United States. The last thing they should be doing is kicking out great schools like Arizona Christian.
Yeah, I mean, to create a litmus test based on belief. And that, to me, that was the most shocking part of this, was to see people openly talking about it. A lot of times in these cases, it's a he said, she said, right? You don't have the recording of somebody saying, this is the reason why. And the understanding from their end is they believe they're protecting students somehow. But I mean, to say, well, these people are not welcome when there hasn't been a track record, as far as we know, of problems. And Dr. Lyding, just one question about, there was some reports about when students come in, they sign a document saying they're not going to proselytize. Is there truth to that? How does it work when a student comes into the school? Does the district have them sign something along those lines?
We have them sign paperwork that says that they will follow the rules of the district.
Okay.
So, and there's no, and they've always done that. That hasn't been a problem.
So that just is another layer to this too, right? That they're coming in, signing this paperwork, saying they're going to do the right thing. So really an interesting case. Yeah, what are you hoping to see happen in the end here, Dr. Lyding?
I'm hoping to see it restored. I want our students to be able to, Arizona Christian University students to be able to go and work in Washington Elementary School District. There's lots of great schools and great teachers there.
Well, it's a simple conclusion to the matter. One final question. Have you heard, and if so, what have you heard from teachers who were former students who are watching this unfold, having come from Arizona Christian and now working in the district in the middle of this happening?
I've heard a lot from former students who are in the district right now teaching, teachers that are in the district. They're very sad to hear that this has happened, and they're hoping for restoration as well.
Well, I want to thank you both so much for taking the time to explain this and come on. We're looking forward to continuing to follow this case. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.